In this video, I want to show you how to change the perspective of your viewport. So here we are. I've just loaded in kind of a small little simple scene. It's kind of a cool robot. And I want to draw your attention to this button right here. When I load in the Moto 401 default layout, it's going to default our main modeling workflow. I'm in the modeling tab. So the main modeling viewport, it's going to default to perspective. Now, this is a button, much like this guy is over here. This guy changes our shading of our scene. But this button on the left is going to change the perspective of our scene. Now, it defaults to perspective, which allows me to orbit around our three-dimensional environment. So I can zoom in, I can zoom out, and most importantly, I can rotate around in a 100% 3D scene. Now, this changes the moment I change from perspective to any of these other orthographic viewports. So let's change from perspective to front. Okay, so here we are. Now we're looking through the front camera, and we're looking at our scene from a front orthographic perspective. Now, in any of the traditional orthographic scenes, so top, bottom, back, front, right, and left, we're only going to be able to pan and zoom in, zoom out. These are 2D perspectives. The one thing we can't do, and notice how the button is missing here, is we can't orbit. Even if I hold down the Option key, it's not going to let me orbit. The Option key in the orthographic views is now the pan. So in the orthographic views, we can't orbit around. We're just going to be able to see it from certain angles. Here it is from the top. Again, we can't orbit. It's just pan and zoom over here. Now, this is great. I love being able to switch around to my different perspectives because it allows me to see my see my scene from very specific views. And it's also really helpful when we're lining things up and setting up our scene. So you're going to find yourself jumping in and around many of these perspectives all the time. A couple other things that are good to know. You can also change your camera. You can change your viewport to view the current rendering camera. So here's our rendering camera, and I can maybe compose my shot to maybe look something like this. And if I hit F8, it's going to bring in my little preview, and you can see that now we're going to preview that camera, which is kind of cool. Also, we can open up any lights, and we can look through the light. So right now, we're looking through our directional light, which is kind of cool. So this is a great way of very quickly placing lights and to look at very specific elements. Let's change this back over to perspective. Now we can orbit around our scene again. As I mentioned earlier, you're going to be jumping in and around all of these perspectives a lot. So it'd be helpful if we had a keyboard shortcut that allowed us to do that. And we do. If we hold down the Control and Space bar, you're going to get this popover. And inside this popover are a shortcut to all the different perspectives that we can change to. So we're in the perspective viewport. Let's move my mouse down over here to front. And there we go. So I'm going to hold down Control in the space bar and then select one of these perspectives, and it's going to jump. So kind of cool. Quick way of jumping in and around the many different types of viewport perspectives that we have in our scene. There we go. Pretty cool.